Husband can bathe the baby, newborn baby. If you are a man and you can bathe a newborn baby, that's good. That's commendable. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for always coming back. If this is your first time, trust me, you're gonna be glad you stopped by. I share literally practical life experiences, what has worked for me, what has not worked for me. Definitely, everybody cannot go the same way. However, our template here is the Word of God. So today, we're going to be talking about comparison. Have you ever heard anybody say, "Oh, I wish my husband was like hers. Oh, I wish that was my husband. Oh, don't you know what so and so person can do? Why can't you do the same thing?" Well, the truth is, we probably have heard it from somebody once or twice or something, or maybe you have thought it in your heart at one point or the other. However, you should note that we are all different. In the whole world, as much as God created a lot of people in the whole world, our fingerprints are absolutely different. No two people have the same fingerprint. Even identical twins do not have the same fingerprint. So, why expect somebody to be exactly like another person? Guys, honestly, there is nothing like being contented. I remember when we had our first child, and of course, having a first child, no matter how much you have practicalized with other people's children, your sister's children, or your younger ones, it is different. It is new to you. And yeah, we learned on the job. You know, I had this friend back then. We used to be friends. We used to be very close friends. She had a child too around that period of time. And we talk a lot, you know, just saying, "Oh, this is happening, that is happening," you know, not like comparing notes, but just gisting and all. I realized that, you know, she goes, that her husband can bathe the baby, newborn baby. If you are a man and you can bathe a newborn baby, that's good, that's commendable. You know, she goes that her husband can bathe the baby. Her husband is really helping her. He can do this, he can do that, and then she goes on and on and on about it. And then, you know, I just smile because my husband did not bathe any baby. I mean, he did not bathe the baby, but for whatever reason, I was happy. I was content. I was satisfied. I never felt any iota of jealousy or any iota of feeling like, "Oh, I wish my husband could bathe the baby." Besides, I was not even the one bathing the child for maybe like the first 3 weeks of birthing the child. We used to gist and all that, and I feel, my husband cannot bathe the baby, but you know, I'm still glad, I'm thankful. And then down the line, she comes, or she's complaining that, "Oh, her husband is not doing this, her husband is not doing that." And I'm like, "Okay, but he's bathing the baby. Okay, but he's doing this, he's doing that." Like, that's a lot to be thankful for already, you know? So if you are not careful and you're looking on the outside or comparing your note to somebody on the outside, you will not even be grateful for what you have. Because the truth is, I'm sure there are some things that my husband can do, even though he cannot bathe the baby, you know, that your husband who can bathe the baby probably cannot do. And it's not to spite anyone. It's just to say, appreciate what you've got, be contented, and appreciate your strengths. Appreciate your spouse's strength, be it the wife, be it the husband. Everyone has their strengths. Everyone has where they are not so strong. You could call it weaknesses. So sometimes if you stay and you dwell on the weaknesses of the part where they are not so strong, you will never be happy. You will just not be satisfied. You'll be comparing, you know. But if you go and then you focus on the strengths, even though subconsciously, even though my husband is able to do this, I can do so many other things, and I'm grateful, I'm satisfied. However, God places people in our lives at different points in our lives, at different contexts in our lives, when we're single, when we marry, when we're birthing, when we're trying to figure out our career, at different levels of life. We always have that somebody God places. But if you are not yielded, you will not see it. You will not take advantage of it. But if you are yielded, you will see it. You'll be guided by the person, because there is nothing like having a mentor. And I mean mentors, good, godly mentors that will guide you aright. But then that does not mean you should begin to compare your life to your mentor's life. Remember that your mentor has gone ahead of you, and then there is something my husband says that a lot of times when you have mentors, the mentors have gone ahead of you. So if you have a mentor, it's like you're sitting on the shoulder of somebody and you can see ahead what you would have not seen if you were standing on your own. You can see ahead through the mentor and avoid mistakes the mentor made or has made, from their experiences, and, be better for it. I particularly have learned from different people. I have mentors in my life, and I intentionally avoid comparing myself to those mentors. Even up till now, depending on what context or what aspect, my mother is one of my mentors, and I have 2 other mentors thereabout. I still call them once in a while to say, oh, I'm going through this. How do I go about it? And a lot of times I realize that these mentors have gone through that experience that I'm going through currently. And they just tell me, oh, just do this, do that, do that. And it has worked. It has worked. It has worked over and over and over again. But if I'm not careful, I will start competing with my mentors subconsciously. And then you'll be having cold war with yourself. And the moment you begin to compete with people who, you should learn from, people who you should pick 1 or 2 things from, that does not mean I'm copying everything my mentors are doing, literally. But I have been guided, I have been blessed by their guidance. But if you are not careful, you will compare yourself thoroughly with these mentors, and then you will desire what they have, and then you will be competing with somebody who does not even know that you are competing with them, and then be stressing yourself. And be talking about the fact that you're depressed or mental health, or be thinking that your husband is incompetent because you have set the bar so high, and then you are looking at somebody else's home and placing that as a template for your home instead of placing your template, instead of making the template for your home based on the word of God. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 6 says, godliness with contentment is great gain. That is in the King James Version. But in the NLT, it says true godliness with contentment is wealth. Wealth. So why would I not want to be content with what I have? I'm not saying be lazy or be lackadaisical or don't aspire for, great things. I'm saying that do not compare yourself such that you begin to desire what somebody else has, and then you do not see the good in what you have. I have met couples whose husbands can back babies. I have met couples who would gist me that, oh wow, their husband can change the baby, can do this, can do that. Yes, my husband, I've never seen him back baby. But he used to feed them when they were small in the bottle. He did a lot of other things that I probably don't have to mention. But why don't we just intentionally make up our minds to be grateful for what we have rather than comparing our spouse to somebody else? Someone else's wife may be a fantastic cook, but your wife is not a fantastic cook. But you knew that before you married her, or let's assume you did not know. You have made the decision. Stand with your decision. Guide her, however. When I got married, I don't know if my husband thought I think he thought I was a fantastic cook. Yes, I was not bad, but I remember the first few months of our marriage, my husband downloaded an app. In fact, the first few years, he downloaded an app on my tab. It's not more an existing app. YouTube videos where you learn how to cook wasn't popular, and then I'll be reading the instructions and be making the eforiro or the egusi and be reading the instructions and and it was like, oh, good job, this is nice. That was how I learned. And now I can cook anything. In fact, there is nothing in a restaurant that I cannot cook. But I started from somewhere. If my husband had come with the perception of, I thought you could cook, or he's nagging, or he's saying, oh, so person can cook on that. There's nothing wrong in admiring that, oh, this person can cook, that person can cook. But still, be contented with what you have. Avoid comparisons. We are all different. We all have different fingerprints. God made us different. God made us unique. So find out your nitty-gritty before you get married. Find out what you need to know. But there's still some things you will not even know until you get married. So be careful when you are wishing, oh, I wish my husband was somebody else's husband. I remember the story my pastor told us one day while he was preaching. He said that there was this woman who, she always looked very nice. She drove this big Jeep. And she remembered one lady, maybe a single lady, saying, wow, this woman, I feel her. I truly feel her. She's always looking on point and everything. And that she, wishing, literally, the person was literally wishing that she was the woman and she had everything the woman had. And by the time we heard the backstory, this woman who had that beautiful car had actually lost her husband. And, it was one of the things she inherited. It was a tough time for her. I think she had serious battles with her in-laws. It was a tough time for her. And the beautiful Jeep was one of the things she could get and she inherited from her husband. So you are wishing you are like somebody else. Do you wish to go through all the experiences that person has been through? I mean, are you willing to go through, to battle all the battles the person have battled? Are you willing to? So just be contented with who you are. Be satisfied. Be thankful. Continually and continuously thankful. Or else you will open a door for the devil. And I'm sure nobody wants that. So I'll conclude by saying, let us learn from one another without comparisons. Okay? Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please share, like, subscribe. More to come. If there's anything you want me to talk about, you can post it in the comment section and we'll be bringing more to you. Thank you so much. Bye for now.